nonprofit marketing education group. And how many of you are here for the first time today? Okay, well let me give you a quick rundown on how things operate here. We have quick introductions here at the beginning, and then our speaker will talk for about a half an hour, followed by about 10 minutes of question and answer, and then you'll have an opportunity to stand up and let people know who you are, and then if there's something that you're looking for or would like to connect with someone in your group, just let us know what you'd like to do. And then we are, as I said, a nonprofit organization. And we have certain fixed costs that are involved with being an operating group, as you can probably understand, as many of you are probably involved with volunteer activities and that sort of thing. And to raise money for our group, we have a kind of old-fashioned style of gathering money. We pass a jar, kind of passing the hat. So if you'd like to contribute, we suggest a donation of about $3. And if you'd like to order lunch, just let your server know as well. So, and that's directly to Connors. And our speaker today is Beth Tanenhaus Winsten, and she is an award-winning, internationally renowned filmmaker. Her topic is on the history of visual storytelling and how it relates to branding and marketing, with her core message being it's the message, not the medium. And you are. Right.
Can you hear me? No. Is it come closer? I feel like I have a 15-year-old son who always looks at me askance, and I feel that way with you. You're so far away. You're making me feel right at home. But is this mic on? No problem. I talk pretty loudly. Okay. No, so now can you hear me? She's going to take care of the mic. Maybe you don't want to hear me. Now can you do it? Yes. And you're trapped, so I have someone who will listen. Okay, so I'm going to begin because I understand there's like 30 minutes. And I wanted to, because I come out of, I started in film, one is not enough. So I'm doing part one today, and if there's interest, I'll do another sequel or prequel. I'll come back again, because I can cover lots of many things, but I thought, so today what I want to talk about that I think will be, maybe leave you with more knowledge and understanding of marketing and branding in the digital world. That's how I'm going to frame it. But I'm a storyteller, and so I'm going to tell it to you in story form, and then I'll answer any questions I'd be happy to. And the reason I'm going to tell you my story, and start at the end. And then go to borrow from T.S. Eliot. We'll come back to the beginning. This year, I began when I was 2, in 1988, making films in a world with linear editing, for those in the film background. We cut up film back then, which seems like decades ago. I've seen so many changes in technology. I've seen so many changes, and many people becoming obsolete who are great filmmakers or at ad agencies who make tremendous amounts of money. And everything changes, and they're suddenly obsolete. And here I am, so many years later, and just this year, I wanted to start at the end to tell you what my year so far has been and why I'm sort of frantic. But I wanted to give you this rundown. Spark, do you all know Spark, Economic Endeavor Organization? Okay, on Monday it's their big hullabaloo, their big board meeting where the vice president of the university comes, and what they're doing as a gift is giving 4 tinyBIGPICTUReshows that I made. That's their gift. They're handing them out. So that's one of the things I've done this year. Does the name Sir Peter Hall mean anything to you? From the theater world. We started the National Shakespeare Festival in London, and Rex Pike, they did documentaries on Eric Clapton and Van Morrison, and major figures hired me this week to make a documentary for them for Sundance in the BBC about the legendary film they made, and all kinds of major figures in it. And I got hired from here in Ann Arbor to do this. At the same time, in this last year, and I'm telling you this not to toot my horn, because I want to tell you this because I personally embraced the digital world when nobody else was, and branded myself, and figured it sort of out, and was quite successful, so I understand how it works. That's why I wanted wanted to start again to give myself credibility with you in the digital world. Because too many people establish themselves as filmmakers and they'll tell you they want Emmys, which I have. Or they'll tell you they had a screenplay option, or they did it and then they freeze and that's all they know. Or they're video makers and they're very successful. They make television or they do sports, but then the world shifted and that's all they know. And so I wanted to establish with you that no matter what has happened, I've always been able to switch with it, not because I'm so awful at technology, but I'm very good at storytelling. It comes down to storytelling. Don't worry about the technology and understand your audience. And it's all the same but different. And I want you to understand that because to help you when you market and brand your companies. Let me get back on point as I try to market as promote. So, in addition, Facebook, you are, okay, I know nothing. Remember, I come out of not technical world, but this year on Facebook, Gerri Willis and Quentin Tarantino and Kate Moss, those guys befriended me. You know, I'm in that world in the internet. Okay, I'm still, which from Arbor, so I know how this works. Blah blah blah. So I won't keep tooting my horn, but also a book was written about me. My son finds this very funny. He said, "You're the only one they write a biography of, and it's shorter than a footnote." But there it is, and it's in 28 languages, and I'm in this book, and all over the place. Former photo, I'm very sensitive about photos because one of mine appeared on eBay in the UK as an historical archival photo. Someone paid like £60 for it. You know this one was. So I know these worlds. I want to tell you I have credibility because if you wanted a film, I know how to do that. If you wanted a television show, I've worked for National Geographic, I've won Emmys. If you wanted a video, I've made videos. But when we talk about computers, it's a whole new content medium. That's why Hollywood to Silicon Valley speech. And I want you to be educated as you try to market your companies and see I want to focus on what's most beneficial to you. So did you come today to learn about branding and marketing? Is that what's of most interest? Is it understanding what is effective on the web in terms of visualization, what you think might be coming? Do you have companies that you need to market now, and television sort of commercials are sort of irrelevant, you don't know where to put your money? Yes, I'm seeing nods. Yes, so all of those. Okay. And feel free to shout. I mean, I'm going to teach you. Nothing you can do will hurt my feelings or anything. I am tough, so if there's a point or I'm not talking about what you want me to talk about, just direct me, I'll take that. So, I now have told you pretty much I understand the digital world. I came out of, but I want to also say most of my successes happen out of failure. Embrace failure. I teach screenwriting at UM sometimes. I'm not too busy. And I always tell people, every no is a closer to a yes. You learn more from your failures and what went wrong than you ever do when things go right. All those kids who were the most popular in high school, they did it right then, but they're not the ones who did it, So don't ever, it's not about any particular thing that's magical, but there's certain concepts. And if you can, my favorite mantra is the same but different. And you must know what's constant, but the slight differences is what makes things effective in different genres. So let me go directly into the digital world because when I came out of film, I'm not going to tell it quite as eloquently as you would like, but I want to get to something maybe more relevant to you than being rounded about my own life. I thought, I'm going to make films and videos for computers because I was no longer being hired to make promotional videos or television promotions. The world shifted with YouTube, technology changed. It used to be, I would get hired, I worked with Sue Marshall and Oscar. There were like 4 of us who knew the crews to hire for the technology to make films or documentaries. And it was a specialized field, and YouTube exploded that, and I embrace it. And a lot of video film people get very uptight and don't like it, but it doesn't matter, Horses were cool, but cars came along. It doesn't matter. It is what it is, and you got to deal with it. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. But it doesn't mean everything else is gone. So it's just a little different. So if you're looking to take your advertising money, don't put it into be very distrustful the ad people or video people who are very good at what they did, but do not understand the digital world. And it's very different in core ways. And the good news is it costs a whole lot less for you guys. So I charge a whole lot less for this than I did 10 years ago, which is, you know, but I can do them more efficiently and effectively. So let me go backwards, and if I'm straying off point, just go, or back to this, or I can open a Q&A if that's better for you. But I started 4 years ago, which is in the digital world, kind of dinosaur age. I knew nothing about internet. I was from the PBS, National Geographic, theater, film world, and I'm not very technical, I knew nothing. But I had the child I had to support him, and I thought I'll peddle my services by making videos for the internet. You know, how hard can that be? I'll shrink things down, make them a little faster. I'm really good at this. I'll call them my filters, and you know, I'm an award-winning filmmaker. And it was awful. I mean, I made something for the web, and then I realized because it's not the same, your brain's different when you watch it. So I realized that ain't gonna work, and I never do anything unless we can do it right. So I happen to, most of my life is also about coincidental embracing of networking, or taking opportunities, being prepared. So I had lunch with a man named Gerri Willis. Does that name ring a bell to anyone in this room? He had this notion 3 years ago, he and I met for lunch. He said, I have a notion that the University of Michigan ought to hold on to its research projects and connect with business, and I'm going to call it the Business Engagement Center. And they gave him a room over Pinball Pete's, you know, come over at Stacey. He had no clients, he had a room over Pinball Pete's and a notion. I said to him, I think this isn't the way to do visual storytelling on the web. It's not right. He and I looked at each other when we got each other, and then I thought I got to learn about the internet. I don't know anything about this, but it obviously isn't just throwing videos up. So coincidentally, do you know Pure Visibility? Is that ring a bell? Is Catherine and Drew? You all know? They came to me because they're, you know, futurists, and they knew that it was going to be very important, visual storytelling. It's going to be very important because they could do their analytics. It was going to be coming, and they asked me to lunch you. And then we were talking, and they gave me, this was very nice, some free space over at their fancy offices. So I could develop, so I offered to do for them. I would play around and give them free, you know, interviews and video, and they give me offices but access to their world, because I knew nothing. And it was fascinating, you know, I came into this world and met, so I was a floor, you know, a couple floors below Rick Snyder and Jeff Rindell and Renaissance Dunster. I know you know some of those names. And I'm with Catherine and Linda and all these, and this is a world that's totally alien to me. And it was fascinating, and I spent a year and a half deconstructing everything I knew, I thought, and came up with something called tinyBIGPICTUREshows. And Jeff Rindell, he's the guy who was with Rick, they did Gateway together, he's the guy behind the scenes. He's the one you go pitch your company to if you want lots of money. I didn't know that. He wore blue jeans and a baseball. I thought he was just a buddy, he'd hang out with me. So but he gave me advice, and I always followed it. He said, trademark that, make it something. You've got something different going on. So I did, and I trademarked tinyBIGPICTUREshows. He said, get a domain, which I did. But you got it. And then I looked at brain, how the brain watches computers. I'm trying to now, I guess, segue quickly in like 30 minutes to help you when you're making your companies on the internet how to sell. So you can't go too slow. You can't do what Ken Burns did in the Civil War and put it on a computer. Doesn't mean the brain of 12-year-olds can't watch the Civil War on television. They're not dumber in today's world, but their brain works differently looking at it as yours does. When you're watching your computer screen, you want things quicker and faster, and there's a lot of information there. It works differently. So that's, I understood about that. I found out that through looking, I'm the kind of person I get interested in stuff. I don't think like school, but I'm interested in things. And I saw that there was lots of new research on the brain. It was fascinating what was going on in neuroscience. Now they keep taking cameras and they know, for example, on the internet, if you hear some audio with picture, the brain will retain it. So I went, so I know now if I'm making it, someone's hiring me to get noticed, just having old-fashioned images, that's wrong. So I came up with this style I want to share with you, because there's nothing magical about really what I'm sharing with you, or the technology, it all eventually into storytelling. So I'm going to try to help you here. So when you're watching a computer screen, Darryl Weinberg, I'm sorry, let me go back. So U of M, you know they have huge marketing budgets, you know, and they were lost. And I run into lots of people who invited me out who would spend $1 million on a campaign, you know, for television. You know, they'd have one campaign that would run, you know, Celebrate Michigan or You're on Michigan, and they'd spend all that money on very elegant things, and that doesn't work on the internet. Nobody watches one station anymore. It's not how things work. You're wasting your money that way. So what you need to do is understand that you need to make many, many, many little things. They have to be quick, they have to embrace in a certain style, the way it works, and they don't have to say everything. They're incorporated. The point of video, I'll call it that even though I don't call my own stuff that, is to get an emotional response. There are 8 billion websites, you know that. And you can have the best website in the world, but if nobody looks at it, who cares? Also, you can have a great piece of visual storytelling, but if nobody watches it, who cares? So you got to get people to a website, yeah, but you got to keep them there. And it's not enough to be #1 in Google. 12-year-old, you don't need that. What you need to understand is, you need to think of it as being able, like with what I try to tell people, I will allow you to make a one-on-one conversational pitch as to the digital world, as if it's a one-on-one story. You need to get your story out to people. People like stories. We live to tell each other stories. That's it. Whether I write a screenplay for Hollywood or whether I make television shows or I always distill, what's the story here? What do people respond to? And then all the statistics, that stays on your website or your pitches. So you need to take advantage of what's coming to engage. And I think this is right. I never see what's here. I'm always sort of seeing strange things. And most of the time they're wrong, but every now and then I get it right. And this is my image, is that every website is, you need one card, I think. Just go to somewhere and visit a card that links you to places. I don't think, and I'm sorry if your website, I'm sorry, but I do not believe that you need to have, if you're a business, a website with 28 pages. I think when it comes up, this is my vision, I would say something, shoe store. And then link you to your different places. It's simple, it's clean, it's easy. So you don't necessarily, I think in advertising and branding, need to spend a whole lot of money on very, very, very fancy layers of web design, unless there's a purpose, and there are. And there are people who really know that stuff. I in no way am diminishing the importance of web designers, but don't pay for things that you don't really need. Find out what it is you need and get the right thing for that. Secondly, when you interview people to make your videos, or I'll make you a video for your website. Okay, you want to make sure they understand the website. It doesn't matter how great they were if they tell you they did television or they did ad campaigns. It doesn't matter if they don't get this. And they have to be able to don't let them impress you with the equipment. I've got a phone. It doesn't matter if I'm buying a camera now for $180 that Mike Figgis, is that a thing that Figgis, the British filmmaker? He just wears us feature on. The technology is so good. You can also buy these little cameras. I'll show it to you. They make great images, but it's the story, and you can rework. I'm trying to rush at you to throw everything I know quickly. And is this helpful at all? Am I straying off point? No, not. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So let me tell you how I branded myself. Here's how I'll do it. I was pretty well known, not hugely famous, but I did okay in film. I had, stories, I was making stories written about me, and I, was pretty well known. And it didn't matter anymore in the internet world. Who looks at who's fake? So I come into this new world, right? And I got to sell myself. And I wanted to play about branding. This is about 4 years ago when Facebook, before they when it took off and it was real easy. Did anyone else start Facebook? I chose Facebook because it just was simple. I knew nothing about it. And I begged many people to let me brand them. Nobody would let me brand them. So I said, I'm going to brand myself. So I looked at Facebook and I began to look at it, and it was real simple. And I realized that this is important because I'm seeing here on Facebook that these are people, like your target audiences, who, it's easy. They're going to be people who have money. You want to reach the people in my business. I got to get okayed by people who are terrified of the internet. I got to get green-lighted by people who hate digital stuff because they either cut into their ad campaigns and they don't know how it works, or they don't understand it and they're afraid to say yes. And this happens often at big institutions like big universities, when the apartments come, and everyone's terrified because you don't get fired for saying no. This is the Hollywood syndrome, I call it. It's better to just reject things and not be in charge than to okay something you don't get. And they don't understand how to allocate marketing funds in the digital world. They hear, I want it flash, I want it like YouTube, I want it to be like that. When everybody tells me that, I say, you're too late. You never want to be like something that is. You want to be what isn't. You want to be the next thing. Always in screenplay writing. Don't ever look at what's come out in Hollywood this year. No, it's always there. Whatever you're seeing now, in LA, I'm telling you, they're 10 years ahead of you. You know, they're not into vampires now and Hunger Games. That's what's released now. They're into whatever. So you never chase trucks, as my good friend and fellow Michigan David Weaver, who are money and flies, would always say. Don't chase trucks. You get my point, yeah? Don't say, look at that guy on YouTube, and a fortune. Don't ever do that. You know, it's a waste. Because you're already too late. They already did it. Okay. So here's my concept for how to market and brand, because I did it myself. So I looked at Facebook, and I'm looking at it. It's not too complicated. And I figured out that, one, you could be friends. You know, you could look at circles. And I had enough of a base, and I went to school in England. Maybe you can hear my accent, but I have a strong English base. And I'm from the East Coast, so I had that. And I know a few people in LA. And I kind of started with that and watching very carefully. I'm a firm believer in you observe and watch things first. You never leave without. I like to know, what works, what doesn't, not for the obvious things, but for patterns. And so I was observing Facebook and began to befriend people. And then I began to notice patterns. And then I got into more and more and more circles. And so now I have like 1,000 friends on Facebook and these wonderful conversations. And yeah, I love it. I embrace it. And it's great. I mean, I can sit in my pajamas and talk to people all over the world and have, and don't be afraid of it. But that's one thing. So I understand how this works. I now, when I started this 3 years ago, I think I Googled my name, and I think there were 3 entries under my name, too. Because nothing from print had been, there was nothing. If you Google my name, go ahead, you'll see I'm like on many pages. I'm an antonym, by the way. I'm officially an antonym, which is why I'm weird, but I'm 327. I've become a star in the digital world, so I know how this works. And it works by finding stories that relate to other people. And it's not that, and it's finding funny, I like puns and all, so I would be careful and I would post things appropriately and then become friends with other people and watch things. So that's how you do the social networking, if you want to understand how kind of Facebook works. That's sort of the core of it. It's not about, it's not all the technology, it's kind of common sense. Does this make sense? So I know how that works. I know so I tell you, I'm sorry, I started to So Tiny Big Picture Shows, now I now had a thing that was different. I have a genre. And Wikipedia has acknowledged me as a genre for the internet. And my thing is, they're 3 minutes long or shorter. They should, nothing you do on your website should be any longer than 3 minutes, and it ought to be shorter, and it's harder to make them short. It's like poetry. It's much harder to write a poem than it is a huge novel. We're paring down and making things crisp and clean. And so don't think, I'm paying this for 3 minutes, I could have gotten 20 minutes. That's exactly the wrong intuitive sense. You're getting, if someone can give you something typed in 3 minutes, I give you 3. They have to be written. People think that, it's on YouTube, it's just a bunch of images and I'll throw in an effect and techno music. And people won't watch it because what are they watching? What's it about? Don't you still want to know that? Who am I following and why? Who's the lead? They're the same concepts when you teach. One of my brothers teaches writing to professional writers, and I teach film, and we both say you must let the audience immediately know where they are. So my brother says the first really great writers in 3 words, the first 3 words will be declarative. They establish the place. In film, you establish yourself. You watch a movie and it's like, New York City, while the train goes into the state, you gotta know, people need to know what they're watching, but fast on the internet. Then you gotta tell a story, and I tell stories in 3 minutes or less. The Business Engagement Center, let's give that example. Okay, so this is why I am a visual artist. I'm not great with words. But, so Darryl Weinhardt, remember I was at lunch with Darryl Weinhardt, and he had that pinball beat room, okay, and a vision to tie university and research and like that? Yes? Okay, and he and I are sitting, and he hired me. He needed to find a way. He believed in me. He believed I was right, that it's a new content medium. You can't just take video. So he hired me. And so I come in, and I have a name, the Business Engagement Center. He has no clients and no history. What is there? He's got a name. So I'm thinking about it. So this is, I'm not going to show it to you. I decided not to share with you all my clips and everything because it's distracting and it doesn't matter to you what I've made. What matters to you is to understand how it works so you can do it for yourself. And then part 2, if you like, I'm happy to go through clips with you. But so what I did with them was, so now I'm selling something. And if any of you guys are starting businesses or you have something you want to promote, here's how you find stories. It's one thing to keep saying, find the story, but here's what I did. There was a name, the Business Engagement Center. They had no clients, so I couldn't, do those testimonials. They had no statistics, they hadn't done anything, it's an image. So I went, oh, so I come up with this, it basically goes like this. I played on the engagement center, and I played on what's an idea without an application, because that's what his notion was. He wanted to tie ideas to the business world. So I came up with this thing that I narrate that basically says, you know, as Mark Twain said, the more ideas, the better. And then I flag, you know, an Einstein quote, it's telling you all these great ideas. But what good are they if they don't become anything? They need to be applied. So that's part two. So part one is, we got ideas. But what's ideas without this? Okay, can you all follow me now? What I'm going to do next is pretty obvious. So now I do this little sequence, all under 2 minutes, on applications. And there's, you know, Bill Gates with Steve Jobs, you know, holding up his iPad, Oprah Winfrey with the O magazine. I forget all the images. The guy who does the great guitars, who just died of a guitar. You know, I mixed it up, but the actual product that came from an idea. You know, ideas, everyone has great ideas in the shower, but these were the people who took ideas and made some. So now we have, ideas are great, but they need applications. And applications have to come from ideas. So, okay, this is engagement center. All right, take a guess. Well, what did I do? Take a guess? No one? All right, so I made a date. Make a date, you know? How do you marry them together? How do you take the ivory tower and business and bring them together? So I made a thing, that was kind of it, you know? We have this, we have that. How did they get introduced? How does the ivory tower meet business? And I put a little graphic thing together. It's kind of cute, with cute music. That one in Emmy and England on the sky. You can find the Murdoch stuff. It's so fast. They moved, you know, the Rebecca Brooks. Does anyone follow that? What's going on in England? Yeah. I went to school right in Chipping Norton. I thought it was so amusing. I went to boarding school right where they're all hanging out, doing those creepy things, the Chipping Norton crowd. But at any rate, okay. So it won, you know, Sky is the thing the Murdochs were bidding on. It's a big. I won that. Now, this is Major Center that he paid me like $3,000. It was with the Simpsons. They paid for it. It's all over. You can ask Daryl. I mean, they got them. It's on every kind of languages. And then I figured out how to social thing. I just, myself, it's common sense, a lot of this stuff. Don't let people, you know, throw fancy terms for you. It just makes sense. How YouTube basically works is if you know, you type in a word, every time Google grabs that word, your thing will come up. So I put in things like, for that one, you know, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, you know, Albert Einstein, I put a John Lennon, put John Lennon, so anytime, anything, and I always layer my things anyway, because I like poetry and pop culture, and no matter what I'm doing, I always try to mix it up with that in the universe of how this social, you know, how witty, how you circulate, that stuff's important. So it started showing up, and I always sit there and laugh. We're in the Pakistani Hall of Fame or something. We won a gold star on YouTube in China. And he's just bizarre, but he's everywhere. That, you know, it was just a little, I don't even think I used live footage. I tell you, I think I took images off of, you know, just stock images and put it to music and did my own voiceover. I mean, it's not complicated. You believe me, I'm not that technical. But it did have a little story. It was kind of cute. It moved fast. They have to move pretty fast. That's the other thing when you do things digitally. They should move too fast because you'll watch them again. You know, I always do that. Like clients sometimes will say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get over them. I'm good. They'll come back. They'll watch it again. That's what you want. You want them back. You want to engage them. You know? So then at the end, they call it, I think you guys in marketing call it, I know Spark's always telling me your call to action statement. Is that right? Yeah. Call to action. Right. That's the your call to action. To me, that, you know, why, to me, so you got to leave them with, you know, that's the story to me. The beginning, middle, and end. By the end of whatever you do, if you're using visual storytelling, the point is to get people interested and then go deeper. You cannot get every, I always swear to everybody, they always want to tell me too much. They're always trying to throw way too much at me. And I'm always saying, no, keep it simple, keep it simple. Once you're engaged, then, you know, show them your statistics. But not here, no one's going to pay attention. Oh, now here's another example on Facebook. So remember back on Facebook. So I get a call from the Surgeon General, I'm in Ann Arbor, the Surgeon General of the Air Force, and he's got this big, huge initiative with billions of dollars at the Pentagon on future-based agile thinking, which is this initiative. And they called me in Ann Arbor to come make this because the head of Netflix, is that named Michael Rubin? Is that a name that means they think through entrepreneurial things? He founded Netflix out of Brown University, one of those, you know, these guys who made his fortune at 12. But he saw my piece. And he said, you know, I never met the guy, but he goes, that was really good. And that's up to, I know how this digital world, I kind of know how it works. And I still have never, ever advertised it. And my website's pretty hopeless. It's more just shows my stuff. It doesn't even play on iPhones and iPads. So I'm trying to make it good for you, so you understand that if I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, I'm not, but I just kind of grasped to reach out, and I know how to tell stories. So I went out to the Pentagon, you know, God, me of all people, you know, and I show up, and there are all these four-star generals, and they're all sitting in the room looking at me, and they're gonna use this when they go to Obama for their big annual, you know. I'm like, from then on, why? But Netflix guys vetted me, and they figured she must be good. So I flew up there with my, you know, an intern or two, you know, and they're all talking, and they made me stand up in this room. I just flew in and say, why are you here? And I said, because I'm going to tell your story in 3 minutes or less. And they all go, ha, ha, ha. And I did, and at the end they all said they understood themselves so much better after I had spent time with them. They got their story, and then I realized, this is for you guys running companies and running companies, it's really important to have internally a story, especially if you hire people who are not in offices. This is the coming world where you have these employees and they're all off in different spaces. Well, how do you build loyalty? How do you build, you know, you can't have a softball team if your people live all over. They'll quit, they'll leave. They gotta believe in your story. Who are you? You gotta create these stories for them. So that's what I did for that aspect. They didn't even listen to themselves what they were doing. There were millions of dollars, and they would talk about future-based and this, and it was all that. But basically, you know what it was? Basically, it boiled down to most major medical advances come out of war and triage. And who's better in a new healthcare crisis to come? Who deals with that the best than the Surgeon Generals of the military? They know how to keep people healthy. In the coming world, we want healthcare to be about preventative medicine, right? Keeping people healthy. Not, it's always been curing illness once you're sick. But these are the guys. And they were telling me, it's amazing that you can, a guy in Iraq who gets shot, gets better treatment on that airplane being flown to Germany than at any major hospital in the world. Better than Sloan Kettering. They can do that on an airplane, and that every soldier like has these little shots, and they go into attack, they give themselves a shot, you know. If every one of us had those when there were heart attacks, if you just care. So these are the guys that do. So that's the story I leave. That to have great leadership, you know, these are the guys who understand, you know. And I went back and looked at the Civil War, and I looked at Vietnam. What great advances came out of each war? And so you can see that was kind of the story. And when they project forward, keeping people healthy. The future of healthcare is preventing illness, preventing sickness, and these are the guys who do it. That's enough. Here's an example too. Somebody called me in because they got a new client, new marketing. She cited she worked at some company and hated it. Thought, I'm going to set up my own independent PR company. Maybe some of you are doing that, you know. I'm going to set up my own thing. I'm tired of working for the other bozos, and I'm going to help people market their websites. And of course, the first thing they wanted was a video, and she didn't know it. So she gets my name and says, "Can you come?" So I do. So you know, I charge my time, but I came out. And I'm listening, and it's a very interesting. It was an insurance company. This is their thing. It's a niche company. They only insure one group of people lying on the railroad who get misdemeanors, meaning they got caught drinking or taking drugs. And so then their punishment, you know, they're paid, you know, they're for 3 months or 6 months, they don't get an income, right? If they're busted, if they break drug rules, you know. And this insurance company sells insurance to them, saying if you know, fail a drug test, you won't lose your house, or your kids can still eat, because you'll have insurance covered, assuming you're going to be a failure. And I mean, it was very amusing. What a weird thing. But I came up with a story to them that they love, and this was the story. Everybody makes mistakes. So they start with Christopher Columbus trying to get, you know, India, and end up with that. And baseball players, bat 300, you know, how good. And then when George Bush, not the last one, the first one flew off on the Emperor of Japan. Forgive me, my dream. But everybody makes mistakes. You know, we all do. But it's important. So that was Act 1. You know, so they don't feel so creepy. It's a bunch of guys who, you know, got busted for drugs, and you're feeling, you know, it's not something to be proud of. But we have to make him a hero. I know this from Hollywood. You got to be a hero. So then Arbor, everybody makes mistakes, and we kind of laugh about it, but we can relate. But what's important is how you learn from that, and you protect your family. You can still be a hero. So if you buy this insurance, when you make that mistake, which you will, you're a kid, so you're really a hero. You know, you get up here, and they love it. You know, it's great. It worked. You know, they kind of told the story. So you see, it's the story, and I tell you, that's kind of how my brain works. And it was just, you know, that worked for them. They loved it, and these guys loved it. They used it all the time. So it was a very interesting company. Spark came to me. Since you told me, Spark,
Just one second. Okay. I just want to ask.
Sorry.
Do you want to ask questions, or would you rather
want Beth to just
talk?
I like to talk.
ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What's the name of the YouTube video that won the Emmy?
That was a business engagement. It went in Sky TV on a digital.
Right.
It was just this little funky thing for the business engagement.
Does it have a title?
Oh yeah, I think it's called business engagement. I never entered it in awards. I have won Emmys for TV show. Just for my credibility. I won Emmys for programs that ran, on network stuff, the real Emmys. But this one was in the digital world. They gave out awards, where they were with The Simpsons. Sky TV gave out their version of Emmys. I don't know, they might have made these, but anyway, with The Simpsons, to little pieces that they liked in the digital world. And then, with that business engagement center, started to be going, but my tiny big picture shows, remember? And all I did was take a font, I'm just a filmmaker, I don't know anything about business, but okay. So I do tiny big picture show. How hard is that? And it's a station all over the world. People take my stuff and put it up. Our tiny picture shows too. So you don't have to spend, I'm trying to reassure you that when people are selling you the wrong stuff, what you really want to find is in your company or brand, what makes you special? Who's your audience? Who are you really trying to reach? And what, that's important. And why should I hire you? What makes you different? That insurance company, they're only selling to this little tiny group of people, but what they had to do was make them feel they'd be a hero when they bought that insurance, instead of saying, I don't want to look like an idiot for spending money every month because I think I'm going to get busted for drugs. You got to tell your story. The Air Force, that very and I'm willing to come back if you like and show these pieces. Yeah, if you like, I'm happy to come back. But I wanted to say that if somebody like me who knows nothing can do what I do, you guys can do it too. And it's not about the technology, that's just. Were you going to ask a question?
Yeah, so you were talking about how, I agree with you completely that a video on a website will keep people there longer, engage them better, and increase interest.
Yes.
But the way you were talking about, you were saying, using that as a jumping off point.
Yes.
Now they want to go deeper, and there's words on the website, and pictures and other things besides video if they want to go deeper. But I sort of see video eventually taking over. So as you go deeper, there's a video. As you go deeper than that, there's a video. And it's an option, or eventually the words start to disappear. If you want the words, you really got to go somewhere.
Well, here's how I see it. And yes, you're one of my tribe, and you see what isn't there, and you just pops in your brain. Yes, I too. I see eventually websites just being like tiny little commercials. They'll all be moving. Does anyone know what an opening ceremony is? It's a shop that they started in London, and it's the guys who wanted to. They started by on the web selling kind of cool clothes, and their website's really cool. It's very animated. It's like a balloon goes across the top, and then go here, and go there, and it's very engaging. It's like video game design. It moves. That's the future of visual storytelling. Yes, but when I say you don't want to say everything, let me clarify that. What I'm trying to say is like with Spark Candy. It's a very complicated company. Nobody really could explain Spark. They couldn't explain it, and the community didn't. Nobody really got it. We know what it's high-tech there. It's this high-tech thing, and it's up with Gateway, and it's over. But no, they couldn't. There are 5 divisions, and we do this, and we do that, and they got this. And I got it down to, so one, they couldn't do it in one little piece. They just couldn't. There's too much. So I made them, I think it's a minute long. And let me say this. There's nothing real magical about what I do. There are a lot of real good people out there. So don't think like I'm holding, the formula. I'm just telling you, when you interview people, there are a lot of good people. You yourself can do if you get your own company and all, so let me I'm not sitting up here doing my horn to look at this. I couldn't even handle it. I'm so busy. Think that. But Spark. So they have all this stuff, and I said, here's what we do. So we have an opening one, and it sets up what the whole overview. It's like a minute long, and I just make stuff. So it opens up. Steve Forrester is the head of their board. So I shoot him, with my film, and I always shoot very beautiful. When I do footage in my stuff, I bring in film crews, and I use my phone camera. Because it's beautiful, it doesn't look good, not cheap, So I film him, that's a very elegant anime. I do green screen and animate, it's very nice. But he basically says, as an afterthought, that the roads, when we say made in America, we're really saying made in Michigan. And not just I love that, so I open it with that. I thought, what a great opening spot. When you say made in Michigan, America, you really need made in. So we did a graphic of a road. And then I just make this up. The road to good The road to economic, let me think about it. The road to economic recovery, wait, what's that cliche about invention? The path to,
The world will be the path to your door.
No, it's the one about the road to invention is, as some take on it.
with good intention.
Yeah, thank you. It's, the road is paved with good invention, that's what it is. The path to something is paved with good intentions. So I just wrote it and put it up there. And then he kind of explains that what Spark is, you know, that the university got together with these guys and said, with the research coming out of there, let's try to keep it in Arbor. You know, that's what they do. And then we explained that that's basically their core message. Keep business from leaving the state, tie in business research. And then, you know, the head of Spark explains we do it, and very simply, I throw in a bunch of quotes to break it up into something for from Darwin. So here's what you get for free from me. I do it after. I'm telling you, one of the reasons I throw so many kind of quirky quotes in, not only because I like poetry, but I put in like Darwin is in that one, Henry Ford, because when your social day gets you many more places, you know? So I put in some quotes from Darwin, and then, the head of Spark at one point said, I asked him what he liked. You know, how do you personalize that? He likes jazz. So I said, so he's running this, tell me about it like you were running jazz. So he gives me this little quote, running an economic endeavor is like running a jazz quartet. And that's how we frame that story. I use jazz in the background, made it a jazzy thing, and like, you know, and then each one, now there's 3 departments. They do this, they do that, they do this. They all tie into the first one, so they have jazz, different jazz. They're not exactly the same, and how boring would that be? They're sympathetic, they can all play together or separately, but they just distill it. And again, the Spark people tell me, oh, now we really know what we do. You know, it's kind of amazing when people don't take the time to understand this. Okay, so enough. You want to ask questions?
Any more questions for Beth?
Certainly.
No, that's quite all right. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I never could at doing what people ask. I always break rules.
It's all right. We're stunned. We're stunned. We're in awe. And that's why we're here.
Can we have a round of applause for Beth? So, is this mic going on?
Okay, do you want me
Yes?
Am I done? Do I just done?
Yeah.
Please have her back. Show her video.
I spent time writing this. Let me leave you with my words with just these 3 sentences. Okay, the reason I succeed. Now, this is important. I really want you to understand. The reason I succeed and continue to succeed is very simple. One, I'm going to tell you a George Harrison quote, because my friend Rex, who I'm working with, was a very dear friend of George Harrison's. From the Beatles, and he said, George told him, the best career move I ever made was joining the Beatles in 1962. The next best thing I ever did was leaving. Don't be afraid of leaving. Don't ever be so fearful of that. You just can't live that way. So I wanted to leave you with that, and I had, my new words are something that I wrote to say, people fight to stay in ruts. Don't stay in, I never do that. I always, if it's not there, I make it. I look what's the same, I live what's different. I try to translate, but don't ever let people make you feel, and never believe in, just believe you embrace every experience and always treat people respectfully. Because in the film world, the person who's bringing you water is the next person, you know, and if you don't do it for the right reason, which is just dignity and they do it for a selfish reason that, you know, I can't tell you how I always run into the same people. Years later, you know, be kind to people and embrace change. Don't be afraid. Okay, all right. This is the portion of LA2M where you have an opportunity to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your business, and then if you are looking for something in particular, you can say whatever your ask might be. So we'll start right here with Robert.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Debra. And I work for a company called Boris Health Services. We're a specialty surgical center in Ypsilanti.
Hi, my name is Gerri Willis, and I'm the founder of a company called Myself Works, which connects students to professionals and teaches them how to create an online CV.
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, I'm really interested in what you guys are saying.
My company company connects students to professionals. It teaches them how to create an online CV and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Loretta Friend with Detroit Public Television. I represent our HD production club. So we do webcasts for conventions and conferences. Come to us in our studios, or we can bring our talk to you.
Do you remember Jeff Forster? Is that?
Yes.
Tell them about us.
Hi, I'm Melissa Fuller with Fuller Creative Services. I'm a full-service ad agency.
For Digital World or?
You name it.
Cool. I get out of my studio. I love it.
I'm Elaine Metro. I'm a creative associate at McKinley. Nicole Rhodes, a web designer for the news service.
I'm Carol Hoffer with the Northwest Mutual Financial Network. We help align your financial goals with your achievements.
David Mayer with Video Burst. We make videos for websites and social media. I'm looking for people involved with social media and web design.
Oh, we should come talk to me at the end.
Mary Rosecki here in Ann Arbor, do business consulting and website development.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Thomas Blackwell, principal owner of Impel, that is a training and development company.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Willick. I'm the social media director at Regroup, and we are currently looking for a copywriter with 4 to 5 years of experience. So if you are one, come talk to me.
Hi, I'm Gail McClellan with Junior Communications. We provide comprehensive graphic design services to support well-defined client initiatives.
Hi, I'm Stacey with Dollarville, your local digital print shop. We love to send out mailings, postcards, and do everything fast.
Hi, I'm Lisa Radwick, and I'm a marketing and product manager. I'm looking for new opportunities in business to business, business to consumer, product management, customer relationship management. So if you want to talk, thanks. Hi, I'm Carissa Cubits. I'm a student currently taking my last 2 classes this summer, and I'm a student of Bud Gibson's over here in SEO and SEM, and I study integrated marketing and consumer behavior. Hi, I'm Warren Schneider, and I'm an intern at Genex. I'm Caroline Veleneski. I'm a recent graduate from State University in Advertising and also an intern at Genex.
I'm Monique Deshane. I started Al Dente Pasta 30 years ago, and I work a lot with interns because our company is a national company, so we can give good resume building stuff for interns. And right now I have an idea for some videos that if there are any interns interested in video making, I'd be interested in that.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Don from The Ride. We've been sponsoring LA2M the month of May, talking about various services. Today we're talking about our Route 4 improvement. Take the bus between Ipsy and Ann Arbor. We've increased service 100%, so we're now every 5 to 10 minutes on peak, 15 off peak. If you take the bus between Ann Arbor and Ipsy, want to know more, come see me in the back. We've got prizes and information for you. And again, it's Don at The Ride. Thanks.
I must say that was the best speaker I've seen her in 2 years.
Oh, sad. Would you write that down? I'm not sure that's my son.
I thought that was phenomenal.
Well, thank you. Gosh.
A, because you didn't have a lot of visuals,
Yeah, see?
but yet you could tell a story.
Because it's not about the thank you.
And the story
That's
itself.
my dad. I don't feel like such a good.
Probably the reason why you want to have So, I'm Tom Bobany. I'm with Mobile Exhibit Specialist. I basically take your trade show, put it on wheels, and take it to the customer.
I'm Ross Johnson with 3.7 Design, the web design internet marketing company. I also run the WordPress group, which is free the last Wednesday of every month. So if you build websites in WordPress or have a WordPress website, come check it out and find out more at WordPressAnnArbor.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Busek. I do SEO consulting and PPC account management at 37 Design with Ross. And if you have anything either, come talk to me afterwards. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Dusak, graphic designer and website developer.
Hello everyone, I'm Megan Crosby with the Charles Reiner Company. We are currently partnering with United Way of Washtenaw for the 3rd annual community baby shower. We're collecting diapers and baby wipes and other baby things at all of our Reinhardt offices. So if you have anything that you would like to donate, please stop by one of our offices. I'm Krista Rumsey from the Washtenaw Community College Foundation, and Monique is on our board.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Shelton. I'm also at Washtenaw Community College. I do marketing and video production, so I thought this would be a good time to start coming to this event.
I'm Craig Dagenbook. I'm with a firm down in Toledo, Ohio called Hanson, and we are a full-service digital agency. We're just up here kind of checking out the Ann Arbor scene, and we're looking to connect with anybody building enterprise-level websites or need for an intranet, mobile apps, pretty much everything in the digital space. So.
I'm Ken Burnett with LA2M, and I write Macintosh and iOS software.
Eric Shapiro, I'm with LA2M as well, and I write Macintosh and iOS software.
I'm Laura Pankowski. I am the graphics and marketing intern for the South University Art Fair.
And I'm Roger Rayle. I do a lot of video recording of events like this, and I also help with any kind of information aggregation and putting it into forms that people can understand. You have a lot of data that you need to make some presentations from. Let me know.
Hi, my name is Beth Heiss, and I help a business, Sun Towels, with their sales, marketing, and social media. And I also teach part-time at Adrian College, and I want to invite you today. We are doing a social media business workshop on Friday, June 1st, and it runs from about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're actually going to have some great speakers. I think, Taylor, you might even be one of our speakers from Regroup. I haven't met you in person. Marissa Smith is going to be another one of our speakers, but we'll have speakers in the morning. In the afternoon, we're going to work with each business. I brought pushers. We're going to work with each business individually in developing their Facebook page and Twitter accounts. And if you already have one, we're going to help you polish it. If you have any questions or interest in it, let me know, and I will give you a brochure with registration information. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Yu Jung-Lee from South Korea. I came to the United States 1 year ago, and I am now I'm taking his class in the summer. And yeah, I have a different stories with a different culture. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, if you are interested in me, yeah, add me on the Facebook.
Okay, great. Well, it's good to hear that all of my students have some kind of call to action. We'll be working on that this summer. I'm Bud Gibson. I started the search marketing program at Eastern Michigan University. We're currently running our search marketing practicum. Carissa, who got up and spoke earlier, is in that. Yujan is one of our Korean students. If you need good calls to action, consider hiring my students. They've been doing great so far.
I'm using a long language only today because in case anybody here has attention to class, because I've had to pay the shingles, which is like you have a chicken pox for your entire life. You don't know it until you sit down with it 30 years later. So just to be on the safe side, I'm staying away. But anyway, I'm Carter Shoreline from Print Studios and commercial and editorial photographer. A good thing happened though, which was probably the stress which caused me a week and a half ago. I ran my 400 marathon, which is a show on YouTube about it. So.
I knew there was a reason I took marathons.
And I'm Mary Lou Olds with Lunch and Arbor Marketing, and we bring in great speakers every week, and we're very appreciative of Beth's time today. Next week, you can hear Kentaro Roy talking about web analytics for smarter marketing, and we are actually just a couple minutes early, so you're going to get back to work just in time. Okay. Join us next week.
Website?
I'm great. Give me a brochure. You know, I got your